The king of adaptability is back to doing what he does best. This entire chapter setup is the greatest thing I think I've seen in Blue Lock because the next few chapters are gonna be amazing. But before we discuss that, Blue Lock chapter 282, let's talk about it. So the chapter picks up exactly where it left off in 281, with 59 seconds left for the star change. The stars being both Loki and Noah, where ISAGI says Kaiser is not a genius, coming to the realization that that is the case. And then elaborating on that thought by thinking to himself, now that I think about it, everything he said and done until now was perfectly understandable for me. Even the Kaiser impact, the fastest kick in the world, is a weapon calculated by the brain. This isn't unimaginable. Sensuous strength like Ren or Loki, but the strongest type of design imaginable to the world. And then he starts putting the puzzle pieces together. See what I did there? He then says, that means talented learner equals world type. Within ego types, I thought about it. The self type and world type. The world type characterized by performing best to do things that seem worthy to the world. And the logic that drives talented learners, could they be the same thing? And then elaborating even further on that by showing different players that he's played against in the Neo-Egoist League, he says, does that mean that genius equals to the self-type ego? Wait, think. Pursuing what brings value and meaning to oneself is what creates the inspiration and inventions of the geniuses. So, it's gotta be this. Wow, I'm getting hooked on this analysis. And then getting even more in-depth with this, he says geniuses can be found because prodigies are there. They admire each other, confront each other, because I was fighting with that ego, I realized. And to the final conclusion that he has on his analysis, he says geniuses and prodigies aren't in a hierarchy. They stimulate each other in a relative way, meaning one equals the other and vice versa. We then cut to Loki bull rushing the field with the ball while Hiyori and YOICHII are preparing for him to do so, to which Noelle tries to intercept the ball from Loki. And ISAGI says, my head is clearer. I can do this, meaning he's figured this out. By elaborating on what he meant by that, he states, until now I was trying to compete with geniuses on their turf, but I'm a prodigy. To show my talent, I need a different way. Genius and prodigy, self-type and world type. If talent and effort won't coincide, nothing can happen. So, think like a prodigy. What makes me and Kaiser, who are the same type as me, can do to fight these geniuses? And while Loki tries to get around Noah and Kaiser is trying to follow it, ISAGI also elaborates on the thought he just had even further. He states, talking about Kaiser, he first started shining this match when he threw away his fixation on me and all the choices he made until now. The moment he threw away hit the semblance of rationality, so I should also get rid of my fixations, my rivalry with Ren. The essence that remains in me. Before I throw away everything right now, what's left in me is, with this awesome, amazing page of him finally evolving, to which he evolves his one fixation he's had since the beginning of Blue Lock, his will to win. He states, that's right, I can be the best in the world. I wanted to win. To which now, the one and only ISAGI YOICHII has evolved. We then cut back to Igaguri versus Ren. Now we know how these usually play out, but this time, Ren gets by him, but not before getting the ball from Loki, who passed it to him to try to get away from Noelle. To which we see him have an open drive right to the goal, getting past the two final defenders of Bastard Munich. But then, out of nowhere, just when Ren thought he had a clear shot, we see ISAGI YOICHII come face to face with him. To which ISAGI says, that's not nearly enough, you perv. You want ISAGI, don't you? Ren, if you're the monster on the genius side, I'll be the monster on the prodigy side. And to finish off the chapter, it is now the light versus the dark. ISAGI's original ego versus Ren's destroyer aura. Who will come out on top? The light of the prodigies or the darkness of the geniuses? We will know next chapter or the chapter after.